Here he is. Yeah, you're not gonna win. You better pull that shotgun out.
Shotgun. People still use those in fucking Div?
I'm too strong for these kids, bro. Ain't got shit on me. See that NPC? I need to move away from him.
There's skill power on it.
I always wonder how they feel, bro. When they shoot me like that, my armor doesn't go down. I fucking wonder. Clutch builds.
I know.
Let me just kill him.
Yeah, but he doesn't have spark then.
Now I know he's running.
Yeah, he does.
He's
He's
Oh, he's
talking
doing
with the gun.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
And
gateway.
then he's got Bloodlist. And every time he gun swaps, he just, you know.
I forgot he had the drone on example. That's why.
Ooh, it
That's-
says my
that's
fucking
corny.
Elgato will be at the mailbox at 6 o'clock, 6:10 or something like that. Or at the postal, I should say.
Gotta get rid of this fucking drone. This stagger is fucking annoying.
Yeah, just sit behind the thing and shoot it. Or
Yeah, he's pretty far away.
Look at I don't know if you see when the drone is hitting you, your screen moves so much.
I see it.
What up? Told you, all it takes is one death, so I know how to fight your build. I'm immune to that trash, buddy. I'm immune to it. It's not gonna do shit to me. Oh my god. This build is so good, bro. Holy fuck, dude. This build is... Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, this build. What is going on, guys? It is Example, and we're finally here. We're finally got the build to a state where I think it's solid. I've been farming for like a week for better pieces, but I got no luck. But I somehow managed to get it to a place where I think it's very solid. Now, again, this build has so much room for improvement because my chest piece and my backpack aren't even where I want them to be, but are the best that I have at the moment. In my last video, if you haven't watched it, make sure you do so, where I show more gameplay of this build. I had two opinions. One side was telling me, hey man, upload a video, this build's crazy, show us what build you're running. The other side was telling me, hey Example, keep this build to yourself, let them figure it out on their own, etc, etc. Now the reason I'm deciding to post the build video is because I'd rather have more people running around with builds like mine. You know, builds that take your gun to kill somebody. You know, it takes some of your brain. You gotta use your movement, use your heals, etc. Especially if you run solo like I do. I'd rather have more people run around with builds like mine than more people running around with a one-tap Seeker Mine and then telling you that you clicking one button and running around in circles takes skill, you know? But anyways, I don't want to waste any more time. Let's get straight into the build video, guys. Make sure you drop a like and the sub if you haven't already. But it's an insane build because this build, I feel like everybody needs a version of this build. So let's go over the pieces here real quick. We got the M4, we got the Eagle Bear, we got the Hollow Man mask, we got 3-piece Gila, backpack, chest piece, knee pads, and 2-piece Patriot. Now let's get into some details. We got the Police M4 hitting for 20k flat. You guys have no clue how long it took me to get this gun to 20k flat because I was not able to get a better piece. Police M4, 20k base damage flat with measured on it Allegro. Now moving on from that weapon, we have our Eagle Bearer. And the reason I'm running the Eagle Bearer is not only because it hits for 23k base damage, so it makes for a great secondary weapon when I need it. I'm using the Eagle Bearer for the Protected Fire talent, which is while holster, gain 10% bonus armor while firing your current weapon. Now like I said, this build is for survivability. This build's to keep you alive even in situations when there's more players shooting at you. 1v4s, 1v3s, this build can handle it if you play it smart. Now moving on from the Eagle Bearer holster talent, which gives us protection when we're shooting, we have our pistol with protected reload, which is while equipped, this weapon grants you 10% bonus armor while you're reloading. So we have protection while we're shooting and protection while we're reloading. So those two work really well together. Now moving on to the pieces, we got the Hollow Men mask, and you guys should know what that does by now. The Hollow Men mask gives us 50% hazard protection because of the perfectly insulated talent it has on it. Now I was lucky enough to have another mask that had another 50% hazard protection, so all in all this mask has 100% hazard protection in one piece alone. So I'm very happy with this mask. 50% hazard protection, 3.5 crit chance, and perfectly insulated on the mask. Now moving on to the 3-piece gear, we have the backpack, chest piece, and knee pads. Now on our backpack, like I said, my backpack and my chest piece can be so much better, but I have gotten no luck. So the attributes on the backpack are 20% total armor, 4.5 weapon damage, and 4,400 armor. Now that 4,000 is what's killing me. I can have so much more armor, but I just haven't gotten lucky enough to get a backpack this perfect with a better armor roll. Now the talents: hardened and efficient. Now hardened for armor, efficient for the long run. Now if you guys saw in my last video, I believe I didn't have efficient on that build because I was still working on the build, but when I tell you that efficient is one of my most favorite talents, bro, it's so good because when you're playing solo, you pop a lot of medkits. You have to, maneuver around buildings, pop medkits, use it to 1v3 people so you don't die. Now when you're running efficient, 6 medkits turn into like 12 because you use medkits, but you don't end up using them because of the efficient talent. So I recommend having efficient on your backpack. Now moving on from the chest piece, again, chest piece is another piece I wish was way better, but I did not get lucky enough to get a better one. So on our chest piece, the attributes: 50% total armor, 7.5 crit chance, and 35,000 armor. Now if this same chest piece, just like this, had weapon damage, it would be even more godly. My gun would be hitting for even more damage, but I don't. I wasn't lucky enough to get a better chest piece. So what we have is 50% total armor, 7.5 chance, 35,000 armor with Bloodsucker. Bloodsucker, why? We should all know why Bloodsucker is so good at this point. Moving to our last piece of Gilla, we have the knee pads with 30k base armor flat and a 13% total armor attribute roll with capacitive. Now capacitive is 50% skill duration, which when I tell you that it's so noticeable how long my skills last, it's insane how long my skills last. Now for the final 2 pieces, we got 2-piece True Patriot, which are straightforward. We got the 2-piece True Patriot for that total armor, that 10% total armor. And on our gloves, we have that 13% assault rifle damage roll, as well as a 12,000 health roll. Now we're gonna get into the mods here in a little bit. Now for our holster, 7.5 crit chance with 45,000 health. Who doesn't want more health? 86,000 health isn't really that bad, so I'm okay with 86,000 health. But anyway, so overall, guys, all of this together makes for a dope, solid build. 500k armor, 130 hazard protection, and 20k base damage on your Police M4 with measured or your gun of choice. Now moving on to the skills, I do have double heals because, like I said again, mind you, these skills are running on 0 skill power, so they're not doing anything crazy, but they're keeping you alive. If you know how to move, if you know how to maneuver with this build, a Seeker Mine heal and a Hive, even though the Hive heals you for very minuscule, it's still going to keep you up. PvP healing is only 18,000 HP on my Hive. On my Seeker Mine is 14,000. So my heals aren't healing me for an insane amount, but if you know how to use them, you can stay alive with them. Oh, and before I forget, here are the mods. 15% stability on the scope, 20% stability on the suppressor, 20 round mag. We also got another 10% stability on our grip. Now for those of you interested in stats like this, I'm going to keep these on the screen here for a couple seconds, but I am going to explain to you guys why this build is such a good counter to a lot of these meta builds that are going around right now, because people are pissed when they fight me with this build because of how good it is against their little cheesy builds, meta builds, So as you can see, 130 hazard protection on the build, which makes me completely immune to so many things. But anyways, alright, that's about it. I think that's the most important ones. Now I'm finally moving on to the mods, which is the last piece I have to show you. I'm going to talk about how this build is such a great counter against these builds, alright? So starting off with Negotiators. Negotiators is a build that shoots out a grenade when you're losing a fight. I personally hate talents like that. I hate things that reward you for being bad. It's like, oh, you know, you're losing, your armor broke, you're about to die. Here's a grenade to even the score, you know? Without even shooting your weapon, a fucking sniper grenade hits you across the damn map. Alright, but anyways, the reason this build is so good against Negotiators, and I didn't realize until recently, is because not only do you have 500k armor, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mods, but only 4 of them have a 3% explosive damage resistance. And these mods were being sold at a vendor, so I apologize if you missed them, but if you have them, you should use them. My defense mods have 3,900 armor plus another 4% total armor with 3% explosive resistance. Now you multiply that by 1, 2, 3, 4. 12% explosive damage resistance. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you mix 12% explosive damage resistance with 500k armor, Negotiators is doing nothing to you. And I'm going to try to find some clips of me fighting Negotiators of how the grenade hits me even 3 times sometimes and I still don't die. Alright, so blue mod, like I said, has 3,900 armor, another 4% with 3% explosive resistance. Now moving on to the offensive mod, obviously pretty basic. We got our 4% assault rifle with a 1.5 weapon damage. Now moving on to the mods on the chest piece, another 3% explosive damage resistance, 3,900 armor, 4% total armor, as you guys know. This mod right here is the only one that's a little different because it has a really good armor roll. It has 4,900 armor with a 3.5 total armor roll. Okay, now I can put another explosive resistant mod right here and the build would be completely fine and I would have even more explosive damage resistance. So Negotiators does nothing to this build. Now, the gloves, same mod. Pretty much all the mods in my build are the same. I just bought a couple of them, you know what I mean? Because they're pretty good rolls. So 4% assault rifle with another 1.5 weapon damage. The 2 mods on my knee pads are the same ones, 3.9 with 4 and 3% explosive damage on both. And then the 2 offensive mods are also the same. 4% assault rifle, 4% assault rifle with 1.5 for both of these. So all of my mods are pretty much the same because I got them from a vendor. But like I said, overall, this build is so good. Listen, when I tell you that Negotiators isn't touching you, clutch builds aren't going to be able to deal with your armor and bloodsucker proccing. Seeker mines are not going to one-tap you with 500k armor. Bleed builds won't even touch you because you can't even catch effects because you have 130 hazard protection. So when I tell you that this build is a must in your arsenal, please make a build like this. Alright, you need it when you're fighting these bleed builds, when you're fighting these seeker builds, when you're fighting these clutch builds, when you're fighting Negotiators. This build is the one. 20k base damage on the police and 4, 130 hazard protection, 500k armor, double heals. But again, you're running zero skill power, so I want to hear somebody complain about a build with 0 skill power. But anyways, but yeah guys, that's pretty much it. Like I said, if you guys want to see these stats right here, I'll go over them real fast. If you want to pause the video, I'll show these because a lot of people are curious about these. Maybe I'm lying about my hazard protection, you know, but clearly right here it says 130 hazard protection. But anyways, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the most important ones. I don't even know if you want to see all this, but yeah guys, I don't know how much gameplay I'm going to put in this build because it took me so long to farm for this to have it the way it is right here. But anyways guys, like I said, that's it. Stability mods on your weapon, 20k base damage, measured is such a good talent, bloodsucker, hazard protection, tank build. We're lit, boys. But anyways, it has been an example. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure you drop a like, tell me your opinions. It has been your boy. Peace, peace, peace. Have a good one.